Welcome to McArthur Live. This is episode 88. You're here with Tim Bartz and
Sarah Davis.
thank you for joining us tonight. I think we're going to be good on the audio. So for those of you that were watching or listening, if you're listening to the podcast from last week, we were having a little bit of mic issues. We upgraded our mics and such. We're having some delay issues and some issues at the beginning, and then of course later on. And but I got my IT guy on it. My son Jeff, he came over to the dealership and checked out the system and everything, and we figured out the issue. And I do have a computer coming, just because the current computer I have is about let's say he actually laughed at it, like on the 7th gen, and they're up to gen 13 when it comes to Intel. Yeah. So you do not have a GPU trying to process your audio video. Instead, your computer's trying to process everything, and that's probably your delay. Plus, I wasn't wired completely straight into the computer because how far it was. So we are wired completely into the computer, so that'll get us by until our computer comes in, which should happen by the end of this week, and we'll have it set up before next week. But looks like audio is doing good, and we did a live stream on Friday with no delays with the members, and so we should be good to go. So, all right. So brings me to you can, of course, don't forget you can listen to this on the podcast. Some of you may be doing that. If you're watching this on our live stream, you can see the different podcasting apps that we have there. I just flashed on the screen. Your favorite streaming podcast streaming platform. Find one of those, and you should be able to find us. Just search for Ford Video Guy. You should be able to find that there. And you can join us. If you're listening to the podcast, we do this live on YouTube at 7 p.m. on Central on our YouTube channel on Tuesday nights. So you can check it out. Occasionally we do have some graphics and some things, and so you can watch along. And of course, if you want to listen to this later, you can do that as well. So, so let's also don't forget, all the good stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Hit the like button. I really appreciate it. And there's also membership available.
Yes. So if you'd like to become a member, just go over to that join button. It's right beside the subscribe button. It is $4.99 a month. And if you're an Apple user, you have to do things differently. You have to go to your web browser, go up to the little A and big A with the link, and request desktop browser. But becoming a member, you get membership content. So we do videos specifically for our members. You get to see a little bit more into the making of things and such. Special videos at our car shows and a bunch of other things that we do. And we make posts that you can also see in community.
Yep.
So, and then you also get your name in green, and you get a little box beside it that says McArthur, and that badging, the colors tell you how long you've been a member. So let's say some hi to some of these members. All right. So we did get a new member. Ryan212, welcome to the crew. Email me your information. We'll get you a new member packet. We're hearing an echo. Anyone else? Because if it's just one, it might be the device you're listening on or the headphones you're listening in. If multiple people are hearing it, that's when we have the problem.
Shouldn't be, but I can tilt mine out over a little bit more towards.
Let's see who else is here. We have Marine Vet, Alan, of course, Ridgeview, our moderator. He is amazing and helps us out each week, along with the member lives. Jack Evans, Bulls 44. Sarah, will you answer questions via the blue box or at McArthur in this chat? We will be answering them in the blue box that I will create as soon as we are done with the announcements. Rickin Kelly says no echo here.
Okay.
Yeah. Montauk is in here. Anthony, it says sounding loud and clear. Dan Foster. Dang it, having Wi-Fi issues, so getting tons of buffering, and I missed last week. Oh. Well, we were having troubles here too, so it might have been us instead of you.
Might not have been you. Yeah. Ours was more audio related, but anyway.
Spexinator says hello, everyone. All right, we have many members here with us.
Yep.
Anyone else? Joe Bonatti. Any of ours that scheduled last?
did have 27
It's
Maverick scheduled.
27
We had some
Maverick
other
scheduled.
orders,
Yeah.
but most of you probably asked about Maverick, and we did have about 27. Quite a few people got
Yeah.
scheduled. So
Niles is here. Hi, Niles. I thought you were going to be mowing right now. Are you done mowing? Are you going to keep mowing?
I'll text you my address. You can go on over there.
No, he has to mow a section of his yard each night to be able to keep up. Country living right there.
He's got a lot more to do. All right. So let's see. Anyway, so thank you to our members. Appreciate you guys, and a huge shout out to you. So you enable us to be able to go on different trips and different like that. Also, don't forget we do have some merch. If you want to get any Ford Video Guy merch, you know it's there. I kind of created it just for people that want it. Not a lot of people, purchase the merch and such, and that is fine. But if you are looking for it, you can get that. We do have the link in the description for the merch shop. But at the bottom of any of our non-live videos, you can also find it there too. So you can check that out there. Let's see, what else? So this last week, we had a couple videos that went live. We have the Dark Horse Ride video. We did go live like on Wednesday of last week, I think. So you can check it out. And then on Monday, we had a video on our LMP 705 package, which is kind of a takeoff of the Shelby F-150. So if you've looked, Shelby F-150s are expensive. Shelby, there's a lot of Shelby badging on that they like to get paid on. So if you want something similar to that in performance as well as look, we have a version of that. You can check that video out. Niles in our performance department takes care of a lot of that we use. We partner with Roush and such, so it is a supercharged F-150 for pretty close to the price of a Roush F-150 non-supercharged, by the way. Pretty close in price, and so pretty cool. Has the stripes, everything, and plus we partner, of course, with Ford Performance. So it has some Ford Performance parts on it, suspension and such. But check that video out. It's a pretty cool build, and we have several of those. And they are going to be a limited run as well. So I think right now they're Niles can probably tell me the number maybe, but I think 10 or so is what we have already scheduled out. But if somebody wants one a different color that's not available, we can always make it an 11th or a 12th. And we are serializing those, so they'll be serialized, and you'll know what number you have for this year. So which is pretty cool. So check that out. This next week we'll have videos. For those of you who didn't know, we are actually breaking out some of the information that we do in this video for separate little videos that will go live Wednesday afternoon, typically. One of them is any of the scheduling notes and information I go through. They're going to be in a separate video tomorrow. Normally dealer news updates. This week we won't, because I don't have any dealer news for this week. It's been a slow news week for Ford this week. Also, we do a video for recalls. So if you want to watch those, they'll be broke out into separate videos if you want to check those out. So there you go. And we got a new member. Another
new member,
All right,
Chase Statter.
Welcome in. Thank you. All right, and so you'll see those. So those videos come in. Plus, I have a video from the auto show we did where we walked around the Hyundai Santa Cruz, which is the competitor to the Ford Maverick. I did a little walk around on that, kind of talking about, hey, here is a comparison to the Maverick. For all sense, if you're looking at a gas engine, of course, if you're looking at a hybrid, technically there is no competition because there's nobody else that has a hybrid compact truck in this segment or out there anywhere. The Santa Cruz does not come in hybrid. But anyway, we can watch that video. I kind of compare those. We have actually several of these. I think we're going to do one a week. So yeah. I kind of want to watch the ones that I did because the other two aren't EVs, and that's I'm not as versed as some people out there in the industry with EV, but just kind of gave my input on the comparisons to the Mach-E Lightning, so you can check those out in future weeks. I think there'll be a every Thursday rollout, or Wednesday or Thursday in the next couple of weeks. And then I'll probably do some videos from Bronco Supercell. So be looking for those. So make sure you have your notifications turned on for our channel so you can get those videos there. And don't forget to check out the videos or the channels that we support down in the description as well, including one of our members. Has he jumped in yet, RagnarCon?
Nope, not yet.
So anyway, RagnarCon has his channel, and he did another video with this last week. Check his video out, and that's linked down in the description, as well as All Terrain Nation, of course, Johnny's Car and Care Reviews, which is one of the ones we've kind of always have followed. They're always in the chat and everything. So do watch their videos as well as a couple others that I've stumbled upon thanks to All-Terrain Nation and such. And hopefully, I'm hoping to meet up with those. So anyway,
Yeah.
all right. And if you didn't know, Bronco, I'm leaving tonight for Bronco Supercell, and I might even duck out a little early. We'll see if the wife's ready and packed up or not. But we want to try to get on the road tonight, and I might actually try to drive straight through, and maybe switch drivers here and there. But hoping to go straight through because Bronco Nation is doing a live stream Wednesday night at Bronco Supercell, and I was asking if I could. So I said I'd love to try to be there in time. So we're going to try to see if we can drive straight through. It's 14 hours. If we drove straight through, we'll probably be there by noon. So we'll see how things go. Hopefully we can make it there. So Bronco Nation also linked in the description if you check theirs out. I might end up on their live stream tomorrow.
Well, and
So
if you're a
never know.
member, I'm hosting it by our member live this week.
And then this week on Friday, if you're a member, they're still having the member live. Sarah is going to be doing that, going through your guys' member orders and such. And solo. So we'll see how it goes. Who knows? I might bug you. Anyway. All right. So
Well, if you bug me, I'm going to ask you to call in.
all right. So there you go. Didn't get time.
Ooh.
But we'll get to the good dealer moment. We do have one here from a gentleman. Let us know about it.
All right.
So
All right, my 450 finally came in. It has the ultimate package. Shout out to Andy Hicks at Bob Thomas Ford in Fort Wayne. He guided me through everything you had been talking about. Your videos helped a lot on understanding how the system works. From a military person, I say BZ, Bravo Zulu, meaning well done. There he is with his F Super Duty. I'm
That's
not
the
even
Super
going to
Duty.
guess what
There.
F250 or F350 that is.
I think he's
450, yeah.
it's that four.
Those are
Of course,
big
you can
trucks.
get a dually in either a 350 or a 450 or a 550. That one
Yes.
happens to. So there you go.
A Hathy and Spexnator here.
Yep.
Haven't seen him Peugeot or Pontiac.
Yes, and Mr. Mahathir, I did see your email, and we'll talk a little bit about that here in just a little bit. What's going on here this week? All right, now let's get into scheduling notes and information
All right,
here.
I'm going to start the Q&A box.
All right. So she'll get the Q&A box because this is usually where people have questions. So we'll start the Q&A box there. So if you have questions about this, somebody had a great idea this week, and I'd like to try it. So if you have a question on a specific vehicle, a model, put the model first in your question. So if you have a question about your Maverick order or your Maverick, put in Maverick first, maybe a little hyphen or mark, and then ask your question. That will help us direct to kind of, sometimes we don't always know what model you're talking about, and we hate to assume. So go ahead and we'll try that this week. See how that works. So there you go. Let's drop that in. So a lot of people, while we're doing scheduling notes and information, will usually ask that. So when we talk about scheduling, what does scheduling mean? So these are for customers, people that have an order put in for a specific model. So let's say you have a Maverick that has been placed, an order's been placed. What is next? So basically, you wait until your order gets scheduled for a production date in the future. So this week, we're going to talk about what models are scheduling this week, which usually happens on Thursday afternoons, and for what production dates that they're going to be scheduling for each model. So it is different for each. And the little notes that we'll have are some things that you might want to keep in mind that, hey, we may not have these scheduling this week, or certain. I got a fly around here bugging it.
Yes.
That there's some different notes of, hey, this won't be scheduled this week or whatever. So we'll talk about that. So I'm gonna forgot to put my phone on. Okay. All right. So first off, let's talk about 24 Mustang. So 24 Mustang started scheduling last week. We actually had some pretty good news for us. We had some of ours get scheduled, some of our retail customers. Also, we did get on the Mustang. They are going to be start producing in early June, and some of those are actually May. They're starting May 1st is when they're going to start producing Mustangs. The people that are scheduling for June build dates. So what are they building in May? And those are some what they're calling early builds. So they're giving every dealer at least one early build, and then whatever region has left over is going to be allocated to other dealers based on their sales volume. We are getting not only the one that we're guaranteed, but we are also offered 5 other Mustangs, and we accepted 3 of the 5. 2 of them we did not accept because of the configurations that they were. We knew we wouldn't sell. So one of them that we didn't accept was a EcoBoost convertible, which we knew would not be a hot property for us. And then the other was a loaded up EcoBoost, which also typically we don't sell those very well. So but we did accept the 2 GTs as well as the EcoBoost. We have an EcoBoost 101A that we accepted, and so we'll have 3 stock Mustangs that'll be available when we start shipping those out. That'll be available for it. Plus, then they'll start scheduling those retails. So here's the notes on that. They are going to be. Looks like they might be scheduling Mustang this week. I didn't see that any of ours were previewing today. That says that Dark Horse is not scheduling. It does say stop build in place on Dark Horse. So there's probably still something there. They're not ready to start scheduling those yet. And those will be scheduled manually scheduled. So that means that they won't use their system and algorithms to schedule the Dark Horse. You're going to get those just like the Raptors and such. So each month, a dealer will be told, here's how many Dark Horses you're going to get this week. It'll be on a weekly basis. Also, no painted, black painted roof or convertibles. So if you have a convertible or a black painted roof option, like the Night Pony package, yours will not get scheduled. And no 100As. So if you have an EcoBoost, that base EcoBoost 100A, they are not scheduling either. And then it says on all other models, all 101A and above must select a package or trim level that includes the wrapped leather console. So all performance packages, as well as the 201A and 401As get that console. So if you don't have those configurations, if you don't have a performance package or the 201A or 401A with the upgraded leather console, you won't be selected for scheduling. So some note there and that's just for this week. We're not talking about for good. We're just talking about for this current week. So, all right, 23 Escape is not scheduling this week. Just keep that in mind. Don't forget the plug-in hybrid are no longer available to order right now. They're full up. The 23 Bronco Sport is scheduling this week. Actually did say that their Heritage and Limited Edition orders are going to be an early scheduling. It looks like I think they were supposed to schedule today. We already got ours, so we won't have any. But those dealers having these, they might get scheduled today. And then otherwise, the rest of them are going to be on the regular day, which is Thursday. 23 Edge looks like is scheduling this week. We actually do have a lot of our stock orders previewing. All of our retails are already taken care of, but some dealers may have retail orders. But if dealers don't have a retail order, but they have allocations, then they'll schedule stock orders for them. 23 Bronco is scheduling this week. They are going to be scheduling for the week through the week of June 12th. So that means if you get a scheduled build date, it could be somewhere in June, probably the first 2 weeks of June. And don't forget, they aren't going to be ordering for the base. Of course, base Everglades are all scheduled already, and they're not taking orders for those, as well as manual transmission. Those are all done. Badlands with optional wheel are all balanced out for 23. Balanced out means that they have all that they plan to build for this rest of this model year. Somebody asked earlier, before the live stream went, before we started our live stream, somebody asked about the cloth seat on the Outer Banks and the Wild Track. So you weren't able to order when the order banks opened up on the 27th. Somebody with a new order was not allowed to order cloth seats with their Outer Banks or their Wild Track. But if you currently had an order in there that hadn't been scheduled, it could still be selected for scheduling. So hopefully that helps out the person that was in there. And maybe hopefully they're still in here, and I answered that question for them. So just know that because dealers can order a cloth interior for those Outer Banks and Wild Track. Not sure many dealers are going to get a Wild Track as a stock because of the capacity and the constraint there, but dealers could put in an Outer Banks with a cloth seats. So if you're one of those that I want a Outer Banks with a cloth seat, You can see if a dealer can put in a stock one for you, and it might try to get selected for scheduling. But since they didn't allow you to retail customers to order them, more than likely it's going to be pretty hard to get those. We did put in a couple of Outer Banks stock orders with cloth tops because we needed some cloth top orders, but we added the leather because that was going to be a hard issue, a hard thing to get. So 23 Explorer is going to be scheduled this week. Says the base 100A and the hybrid are retail orders only, so that means if a dealer has one in there, they will not be selected, even if they have allocations available in no retail orders. They will not get those two. 23 Expedition is scheduling this week. Again, don't forget, you need to add your heavy-duty trailer tow package. If you have a limited 302A, 303A, 304A, I can't remember what trim level the 501A, the 400A. I need to look that up because every week I always say that. But they will not be selected if you do not have that heavy-duty trailer tow package on. So they are not going to be putting the trailer tow prep package on any more of their Expeditions through this model year. So if you don't switch to heavy-duty trailer tow package, you will not get selected. Also, limited availability on the Timberline, the limited 304A, which is that stealth performance package, and the mahogany seats as well for those limiteds. And so there you go. And the retail order banks did close for the Expedition, so you can no longer put an order in for an Expedition. 23 Maverick, and does say it's scheduling this week for build dates for the week of June 26th. And don't forget, tow hitch, the splash guards, and the trifold bed covers, and the load bed liner is a note in here that is very highly constrained. I will tell you that we did have an order that was overlooked because it had splash guards on it. So something to note. So those are real constraints. So there you go. 23 Ranger is going to be scheduled this week. We actually do have 4 stock Rangers that are previewing today. And of course, the order banks are closed for 23 model year. This is the last month they're scheduling for. So for 23 model year, start seeing them start talking about 24. So really surprised we haven't heard anything yet on 24. It'll probably drop while I'm at Bronco Super. They're going to go, for you guys at Bronco Supercell, go ahead. Do it now. Do it now. All right. 23 F-150. The Lightning is not scheduling this week, but the gas and the hybrid or power boost is scheduling for production week of May 15th. They usually schedule about a month out. It says in here, no moonroofs will be scheduled, no power tailgates, no additional tremors with the 402A or Heritage editions. If you're looking for an F-150 Heritage, you need to just look for us because what first marked at? We have 23 F-150 Heritage editions in a variety of different colors available for $7,000 off. So if you're looking for one of those, don't order one. Just get one from us. All right. No 20-inch all-terrain tires are going to be scheduled. No STX appearance packages or STX black appearance packages. No 18-inch chrome appearance package wheel. And no 17-inch all-season tires that are standard on the base XL 4x2s. So it basically means if you have an order with one of these items on there, it will not get scheduled. So that's what that means. So if you have a Tremor with the 402A, or if you have a Heritage Edition that you're trying to get scheduled, they won't schedule this week. Okay, and this goes for this week. These are notes just for the week for Thursday, April 20th scheduling. So keep that in mind. 23 Super Duty. So they are scheduling this week. That's saying here, King Ranch Platinum and limited availability is exhausted. That means that the order banks are no longer open for those. And limited scheduling on the Lariat trim. So does say that, but this is the first week that I've actually seen some Lariats preview. 4 or 5 Lariats preview for us. So hopefully because we have some people with Lariat trims that are wanting to get their Super Duties. Let's see here. What else? Also, limited scheduling on the 360-degree camera, limited scheduling on Super Cab, limited scheduling on 7.3-liter gas engine, limited scheduling on the split bench seat, and limited scheduling on the interior work surface. So if you have any of those items, it doesn't say it won't get scheduled. It's just saying that they're just a limited number that they can schedule. Okay. All right. TransConnect Van and Wagon is supposed to schedule this week for the weeks of June 5th or June 12th. This is the last year that you will be able to get a Transit Connect in the United States or Canada. So So anyway, but the order banks are closed. So 23 model year transit scheduling for the same weeks of June 5th and June 12th. A lot of constraints there we've talked about, same ones we've been talking about for several weeks. If you have a transit, you probably know of these because you've been waiting and waiting. We actually have one of our members that's probably shouldn't say that because that might be bad luck, but hopefully his gets scheduled. He's been waiting and waiting, and so hopefully he gets scheduled. I know he's looking for that. He's been waiting for 2 years to get his transit, so that's about how long the wait line has been. For those of you that are waiting on the Maverick and you go, it's been a year. Transit people have been, a lot of them have been waiting for like 2 years.
Yeah,
so
just like Bronco.
it's just as bad as Bronco, believe it or not. So
Yeah.
all right, Mach E is scheduled this week. It is a job 1 balance out, and the standard range battery is balanced out with May production, and the retail order bank has been closed completely for 23 model year Mach E. We are going to have a 23.5 Mach E available, and order banks will open up here. Can't give you any dates. Got in trouble for that. Not giving you any dates on that one, but it's coming up. And if you watched the last videos,
Jerry Parada. Yes, we know that the mics are directional. We're just so used to looking at each other when we
Yep.
talk that
so that's why I tilt
we
my
have
head.
to tilt our heads to do it. And even then, we should almost just
Keep
move
my
the
hand.
mic
I just keep my hand
with
on it.
us
Just
so
do
then you
this.
can hear me.
I feel like
but-
I'm a concert singer or something.
He needs to keep his hand on it because otherwise he forgets to keep looking at
Is
it.
that what they were asking about? Why I'm putting my hand on it?
No.
Oh.
He was saying that when you look away, he can't hear you.
Yeah. So we might need to adjust it a little bit to. I think I can adjust it. Like I can go up a little bit so that even if I look away, you can hear it, but just for volume. I know that.
Yeah.
I know some others do that. All right.
And then I'm seeing some good questions in here. Like Chase, you put one out to the community. I went ahead and put your question in our Q&A so that way I can talk about it later because that would be a good question for later on about Mavericks.
Okay, normally here's where I talk about dealer news updates, and I really don't have any. There've been some dealer news updates. A lot of them on Lincoln, but we're no longer a Lincoln dealer, so I wasn't going to talk about those. But we do also some of the other dealer news bulletins this week were more on training and on things that dealers need to do themselves. It's not really have anything to do with any, like closing of order banks or anything like that. So I really don't have any dealer news for you for this week. Like I said, a slow news week here. So anyway, we're going to move on to the recalls.
Recalls.
Okay, just a couple of them here on these, and I started doing these recently. So if you hopefully, give me feedback on that. If you don't want the recalls on there, if you do, let me know. But all right,
We have J.M. Genoa says 478 days for Bronco, and Rick and Kelly says, wow, 400. Oh, I thought they were saying that they were at 478 days too. But yeah, someone's been
Yeah.
waiting 478 days.
Yeah, I don't think Rick and Kelly's been waiting that long. But
No. Misty says
'cause
445 days. Yeah,
So,
Broncos have been waiting
Yeah.
much longer than that. We had someone that just got theirs and they ordered in the first round in 2021. So,
Yep.
yeah.
all right. So let's talk about some of these recalls. So this recall number is 23S01. Originally came out January 30th. And so this one here has to do with the Bronco Sport equipped with a vacuum brake booster. So we do have a total number of 801 vehicles that are affected by this that were produced in December 8th of 22 through December 16th of 22. So just for those 8 days there. And so this one here on these affected vehicles, the HCU may have an internal leak in the normally closed valve due to a flat spot on the ball of the armature assembly. Yeah, this printed off and those letters are right together. All right. An internally leaking HCU could cause longer brake pedal travel without any visual or audible warnings. This condition may be intermittent, resulting in inconsistent pedal travel. Additionally, the driver selectable auto vehicle hold feature may not operate as intended if a leak is present in the rear normally closed valves. So the vehicle may creep unexpectedly after an auto hold event is initiated. So definitely you want to make sure this gets checked on. The letters to the owners are going out next week. So the week of April 24th, you should get letters. So that means at that point, starting next week, you can go in and take your vehicles in. So whether you get your letter or not, you can go into your dealer. Dealer has the information. They now have the attachments on this bulletin for the labor allowance, the parts ordering information, the technical information, so your dealers can start taking care of this recall starting next week. All right, next recall is on the Bronco Sport. Again, another Bronco Sport. This one's it's actually more of a field special field action 22L07 on the 22 Bronco Sport Big Ben vehicles. This is on vehicles built June 10th of 21 through January 19th of 22 on 2022 Bronco Sport Big Bens. 1,623 vehicles were affected. And so in all affected vehicles, customers paid for the LED fog lamps and the Maroney label, your window sticker, lists the LED fog lights as standard equipment. However, the vehicles are not equipped with the LED fog lights, and they cannot be retrofitted. So LED fog lamps delete should have been on the window sticker under the optional equipment section and a credit of $500. So it does say here the service action customers that are the original owners of sold units will receive financial compensation for the deleted LED fog lamps option, and eligible owners will receive information about their reimbursement plan through their owner letter. No service action is required by the dealership. So those letters should be mailed the week of May 1st. So again, that 1,623 people were affected with that.
While this is on my mind and I'm thinking about it, can we talk about why we're not selling Lincoln anymore?
Maybe I should just
Okay.
better wording on that. So.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah. So
good thing I asked.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that here.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
I just wanted to
People
ask
ask.
before if you were to just head out, because it's in the Q&A.
Okay. All right. All right. Next one is safety recall 23S17 on the 23 Ranger and Bronco vehicles. And so on the Ranger, 2023 model year, built in Michigan Assembly Plant, February 9th of 23 through February 13th of 23, and Broncos built the exact same day, February 9th through February 13th. It says 1,434 of these vehicles were affected. 442 were Rangers and 992 were Broncos. And so basically the recall states this. These vehicles are equipped with lug nuts on the left side, driver's side, road wheels that may not have been properly tightened. Insufficiently tightened lug nuts on the vehicle's road wheels may result in loosening of the wheel attachment and potential wheel detachment from the vehicle. Yes, we've seen some service departments not tighten their lug nuts before. It says a wheel and tire assembly that detached from the vehicle while driving may create a road hazard. Yeah, more than that. Anyway, it says if either were to occur, there would be an increased risk of injury or crash. Yeah, of course. It says, it says before demonstrating or delivering any new in-stock vehicles involved in this recall, dealers are to verify all the wheel lug nuts are torqued on the left side of the vehicle and inspect for any damage to the wheel studs and wheel. So whoever is working that day, they kind of got in trouble. Okay. Like you had one job. No, just kidding. All right. And let's see here. Does it mention letters going out? So basically, have those checked. If you were built in that time period, go in and have your dealership check them. Hopefully, well, I guess by now you may not have. But letters will go out the week of May 1st. But this is an easy one for dealers to figure out. Have them go in and check it. They can wait until the week of May 1st to go ahead and because what basically happens when these recalls come in, if the recall is not ready, a certain time frame, they can't actually initiate and then say there was a recall being done, because then they don't get reimbursement for it, and also show that the recall hadn't been done yet. So what they can do then, there's no reason why they can't just wait. So there's information. The dealers should have information now on this. You should be able to go in now. It does say the letters will go out May 1st, but I definitely wouldn't wait and to have it done until then. But anyway, all right. That's the last one. No, we got two more. Wait. Yeah, two more. All right. So we do have, this is customer satisfaction and not a recall, 22P31. This is on 21 to 22 Mustang Mach-E vehicles. So any 21 Mach-E built between February 24th, 2020 through December 23rd, 2021, or 22 model years built between August 16th of 21 through February 23rd of 22. Now, 36,427 Mach-E's were affected by this. That's a good number. All right, so the reason for this recall, has to do with electric parking brake. So in some affected vehicles, it may not function due to damaged or broken wiring. Customers may experience an audible chime, a wrench light on their screen there, and a message on the instrument panel cluster specifying there is a parking brake failure. Service immediately. Some customers may be unable to disengage the parking brake, resulting in brake drag while driving, accompanied by a constant minder or chime. The vehicle design will allow the affected vehicles to remain stationary on a grade even with a non-functioning EPB. That's electric parking brake. Does say in here dealers are to replace the connector to the electric parking brake of the rear calipers. This service must be performed on all affected vehicles at no charge to the owner. I don't know when those owner letters will not be mailed for this program. So basically, that's why it's a customer satisfaction. So if that light comes on, you just go in. They know what's going to happen. This program will be in effect through June 20th of 2033. For a maximum of 150,000 miles, whichever comes first. So if you're having an issue with it, you come in, have it fixed. The dealer is not to charge you, but to take care of it. All right. Last one is recall number 22C13, which originally came out August 19th of 22, and this is on 22 Aviators and 22 model year Aviators and Explorers. This is the frame rail assembly. So now we have a little more information. Now we have an exact number. It's 776 vehicles that were affected by this. I think I've actually maybe mentioned this one in the past, but now we have a supplement to this. So now we have more information of what the service departments can do. But otherwise, nothing new has been changed on this recall other than what the dealerships need to do on their end. So it's updated information for them to go ahead and take care of the recall. So I won't go into any specifics. The letters have already been mailed out to customers. It's just an update to what the dealers need to do. So probably shouldn't even worry about talking about that, but I want to be thorough. So there you go. So that is all the recalls. So let's go ahead and before we jump into the is it true for this week, we can talk about that. So McArthur has, one of the things that we've been able to do is get new Lincoln vehicles for customers and such, and we're still going to be able to do that with our partnering dealers. We have a couple dealers in Kansas still are going to be Lincoln dealers, so we'll still be able to help our customers get new Lincoln vehicles if they're struggling to find a good dealer, and we can order through them, and then we can still are able to go ahead and deliver them here if we need to or whatever, and still help them. So we got a couple dealers are partnering with us, including a Black Label dealer in Oklahoma that we're partnering with. But what it allows us to do is we're kind of more or less morphing to a luxury experience for all the different luxury brands. So now we won't be able to provide new Lincoln, or we can still get new Lincoln vehicles for those that want to. We won't be the technical delivering dealer, but we can order them through another dealer and help our customers. Still will get their factory warranty, everything else. What we're doing is what we call McArthur Luxury now, where we're providing late model luxury vehicles with a lot of the different concierge service, especially for those customers that live near us, getting some concierge services, and it's like pickup and delivery, luxury loaner, that kind of thing. And we're going to have Audi, Porsche, BMWs, Mercedes-Benz, and such. We even have special a lot out here for those vehicles. We have a bunch. We have launched that now, and we're excited about this because we're able to now get some other luxury vehicles other than Lincoln on the used side. There will be certified vehicles as well. A lot of them are just like a year or two old, low miles. You can check out our website for information. But so yeah, Lincoln's kind of going in a different direction, and so we just felt like it was a different direction of what a lot of our loyal Lincoln customers are looking to go into. And so this enables us to help those customers still get some late model Lincolns that are currently available. And as they evolve into something, different, because they're talking about going full EV, and a lot of our Lincoln customers are farmers, and so they're not ready for that yet. So anyway, so that's what's going on there with us with Lincoln. All right, moving into Is It True? So this week, I thought it was really good because somebody did ask me. Hold on that cord. There you go. So somebody asked me this week, said, is it true that Ford discontinued price protection for 2023? So this is, I think, an important question because we've been talking about price protection and private offers for the last, year and a half now. And price protection is not anything new that Ford's been doing. They've been doing this for a long time because price increases happen within the production year. And what I like to say on this is that I know what dealers are seeing is that they heard dealers or Ford telling dealers, we are not going to price protect you if your orders do not get scheduled within the model year. That's called a transition private offer. So what they're saying is if a certain, they're trying to have dealers not take too many orders that they can't fulfill. So that's why they're telling dealers, here's what your estimated allocations are going to be for this next year for this particular model. Don't take any more orders than that, because if they don't get scheduled, we are not going to price protect it and give them a private offer if they have to go and put in a new order next year. So that's what they mean by they're no longer doing price protection. What they really mean is going into the next model year. But within the model year, price protection is in effect, and every time we talk about a price increase, we tell you that they're automatically price protected. So they will always be price protected within the model year. So if you put in an order anytime throughout the model year, you're locked into the price of what it was when you ordered the vehicle. Make sure you get a copy of that order sheet. That is the price that you're locked into. Ford will reimburse dealers if the price increases throughout the model year. So if you ordered a Maverick in September, right, there was a price increase in February 1st. So if you take delivery of that vehicle after February 1st, it's going to show that it was $500 more because that was the price protection. But Ford will reimburse the dealer that $500 back when they receive that the person that ordered the vehicle buys the vehicle. They are going to be getting that price protection. So again, Ford will honor it. It's up to the dealerships to honor it as well. And so what some dealers are doing is they're not giving it to you until they get it from Ford, which usually happens 45 to 60 days later. It's up to the dealers how they want to treat it, how they want to do it. But we know that if the person that ordered the vehicle buys the vehicle, we are going to get reimbursed. So we honor price protection. So hopefully that explains that. So Ford is discontinuing the transition private offers if a 23 order does not get built in 23. They are not going to protect or give you any kind of extra rebate or private offer going into 24. So if you have a current person that has a 23 model year Maverick order and it does not get built in 23 and you have to put a new order in 24, then you will not get any kind of private offer. If the prices go up, well, right now it'd be $500 more. If it goes up any more, you'll have to pay what the 24 model year prices are with no extra. So anyway, so we'll see if they hold that true on the Maverick, because Maverick is one of the models that Ford did not let people know what their number was before the order banks closed. So like with us, we took orders based on last year's, and our number was lower than it was for last year. And so, but it was too late at that point. We'd already taken all the orders. So hopefully, maybe we'll see them do private offers on those, but I don't see them doing it on Bronco or any of the others because they did tell us our numbers ahead of time. So anyway, all right. Lastly, what's on my mind, I want to talk about this week. I'm headed to Bronco Super Celebration in Townsend, Tennessee. It's Supercell East is what we like to call it, and it is where the Bronco owners get together and show off the Broncos and go on some excursions and hang out. And vendors come. We can see what kind of different parts are available, that kind of thing. Um, Heard that it's going to be like 1,000 Broncos there, with over half of them being the 6th gen Bronco, which is 2021 and later. So we are driving the Bronco there. Going to leave tonight and head that way. So looking forward to it. Really, I really wanted to go last year and didn't. And for the last 365 days, I've been hearing about how fun it was, and I'm like, I am not missing this year. So I'm excited about it. So I'll be going to that. Yeah. So be looking for videos, photographs. My goal is to get a picture of every Bronco I see. So it'll be fun. Also, I got a GoPro and I have a mount. So if you haven't checked out my personal channel, Forward Video Guy, it's linked in the description. Check it out. I've added a lot of accessories to the Bronco, to my and for those of you that are maybe thinking about getting a Bronco right now, we talked about earlier, hard tops are very constrained and cloth top is an option. And I know some people are just like anti cloth top, but I ordered a Big Bend 4-door cloth top 2.3. But check out my video because you can see all the different things that I've customized to make it not look like a base Big Bend. I didn't like the grill. I switched it out. I can do that. These things are modular in a sense that you can change out fenders, fender flares, the grills, even the bumpers. I even switched out my tow hooks. I did not like the tow hooks from the Big Bend, so I have some rough country different tow hooks in there with shackles. I love. I like the rock rails that you see on the Black Diamond and the Badlands edition. So guess what? I added the OEM rock rails to mine. I mean, you can do all these different custom editions. IAG's got all kinds of cool things. So check out my YouTube channel. I actually did about, I don't know how many projects. I did a bunch of projects, and I installed them all myself. So check out my YouTube channel, and it actually shows what my current build is and such. And so it's pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to driving that to Bronco Super Celebration. And I'm looking forward to going with Bronco Nation on their drive on Thursday. So my point was I have a GoPro mount. That's where I was going with that. I was like, where was I going with that? But I do have this mount by Bullet Point on my dash, and one of them is a GoPro mount. So I'm going to have my GoPro on there. I'm going to try to turn it on when I'm going into Townsend so you get a good idea of what it's like, because I guarantee with 1,000 Broncos there, that Thursday, Friday, Saturday is going to be Broncos everywhere. So I'll put that on so you can see what it's like driving through Townsend, Tennessee with all the Broncos in town, and even going through the show field and everything. So we'll have some fun with some footage. We'll try to get you some of that, especially if you're a member. You'll see that content, and we'll see if you guys want it. We might put it on our McArthur channel as well, but it's gonna be a blast. So other than that, talking about different other things we're doing. So we do have Supercell going on this week that I'll be going to. Also, in 2 weeks, I'll be at a conference called Digital Dealer, and that's where dealers that want to be, learning and advancing their dealership digitally, which means online, social media, that kind of thing. They go to these conferences to learn stuff. So I'll be going May 1st to the 3rd. It's in Tampa. So if you want to do a meetup, I think we're going to try to plan on meeting up.
Sounds like you might have quite a few there.
Well, good. We're going to go to the Ford's Garage restaurant. There's a bunch of them in Tampa, but I think we're going to go to one because there are some people in Orlando. We're going to meet partway at Lakeland. I think that's right. Florida, and at the Ford's Garage there. Sounds like we might have to get a reservation. So if you're wanting to meet up with us, we think it's going to be the night of, or they have to be like early, because I got to be back at Tampa for the event, the kickoff event, part of my agreement. And so we'll probably try to do it early. So if you're interested in doing that, email either one of these two email addresses that you want to go to that, put in the subject like Tampa meetup or something. And so we know, and so we can make sure we keep you in it. We'll do an email loop with all of us and make sure everybody knows time and everything. I plan to rent a car this time. When I go, I'll rent a car and we'll drive up. If some people are in Tampa, maybe we can carpool or something there, and then we can meet up there. That'll be a blast, so we have fun. So gotta go to Ford's Garage. I haven't done that yet. All right. Also, I was asked to speak at a conference May 23rd to the 25th. So I'll be speaking May 23rd, which will be before the live stream. So we're going to be doing something A little different. We'll be doing actually the one when I go to Tampa, we'll be doing the same way. We're going to be doing a live. We're going to be using a different platform that we're using here to do the live stream, where Sarah will be here and I'll be there. We'll do that at the at that
Yes.
conference as well that I'm speaking at. Of course, what do you think I'm speaking on? Video. So I'm going to talk about video and dealers using video and how they can use video to help their dealership in today's market. So that's what I'll be talking about. And what's really cool about this one is no slideshows, no slide presentations, no visuals. I can do handouts, but it's at a true camp. So it is at a camp in
Yes.
Georgia.
I really like the
And-
feels coming off this place.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool because it's to get people out, and like they pretty much transport people from a local lodge to the event that's 10 minutes away every day. And then you hang out there and you do the different sessions. You learn. It's hands-on. It's more learning and implementing type of thing, and which is really cool. I think that's really important because a lot of times you go to a conference, you get some things, you come back thinking you're going to implement, and you don't implement anything. And it was just a waste of your time. And then in the evening, it's more some pretty cool like bonding type stuff and networking and that kind of thing, events. And then they take you back to your hotel at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So anyway, it sounds like a lot of fun, but that's what we'll be. But they did tell me, I said, oh, that Tuesday, that's the day. Is there a way I can get internet, like bus back to that lodge? And he goes, well, we do have one building there on the camp that has internet. We're going to try to actually, and I said, well, that might be kind of fun for those that want to hear something about video. They can actually see it in practice an hour later on a live stream. So you guys might be participants to see it, a bunch of other people hanging out around us. And I said, you know what? I'm not nervous. If they want to come around and watch, they can watch. I'm not nervous. So it could be, and maybe they'll see the actual application being served up right in front of them. So it could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then of course we'll be at Carlisle, Pennsylvania for the
Yes.
Ford National Car Show, June 2nd. I'm going to be there June 2nd and 3rd, the Friday and Saturday. Sunday we'll probably be heading back.
Yes.
So
we are driving up. They're flying in.
Yep. My wife
Lebo
and
and I are driving up with the kids. So we'll make it a 2-day trip. We plan to stop in Columbus for some Cincinnati chili, of course. Or sorry, not Cincinnati, Skyline chili, because it is Ohio chili. Skyline. Check out the sites there. We're probably going to stop at the Arch. Just have some fun on the way there. Split it into 2 9-hour days. Get there Friday or get there Thursday. Then we can be at the show Friday and Saturday, and then leave probably Sunday and stop in Cincinnati to see some cousins. So.
all right. I could probably answer a few questions. I think Sarah's looking forward to having it all to herself. Like, I could do this. I can answer everybody's questions. So how about I can just sit here because I don't think the wife's quite ready to go yet.
No,
So
you don't think so?
I don't think so. I'll find out. I'll wait for her text. Anyway, let me put this on vibrate so that I can actually feel it.
I'm actually not going to Tampa.
No, Sarah's not going to the others. I pulled her away to so many different trips, keeping her away from her kids that she's not going to go to the Tampa or the speaking. Those are both digital dealer. And so she's not going to those two, but she is going to go to the Carlisle event. So.
Yes. Which I'm making into pretty much a 7-day vacation for us. So, and there's actually like a weekend in between some of his events where I'll be gone. So.
Yeah. So, but after this, I don't think I have anything planned for July unless I decide to go to VidCon, which I don't know at this point.
Brandon Jones, join me on Friday. I will be here by myself.
Yeah.
We're talking about Skyline chili. What are your thoughts on Skyline chili?
Mine?
Yes.
I like it a lot better than basically it's spaghetti. Okay. So Skyline chili, but it's basically
it's chili on spaghetti.
It's chili on spaghetti. So I'm not a person that likes regular traditional spaghetti because I don't like the red sauce. I like Alfredo sauce, but I don't like the red sauce. But if you do the Skyline chili on the spaghetti, I'm okay. I'll eat it that way. So I'm not a big noodle pasta person. If it has Alfredo sauce on it, I'm good. But red sauce, I don't like it. And the thing in our house is the kids always loved spaghetti, and it was easy to fix, and I ate it. Put
We-
enough Parmesan
The
cheese on
thing
it, I
is
could eat
that
it.
we didn't like Skyline chili too much as kids, but we ate it. It was noodles. So mom would mainly make the sauce for her and dad, and then we would eat the noodles. As we got older, we really liked it. So I think we're going to stop for some Skyline chili in Ohio.
So we, I don't know if they're talking about different meetups. But Tim said something about Tampa North in the summer, South in the winter. That's true. But Detroit Auto Show's going to be coming up. I think that's in August or September. I think it's in September.
We
So
can get packets.
So I'm kind of actually hoping, which I won't mention dates, but summer is when order banks are going to open up for a lot of vehicles. One of those months. And the reason I can't really mention dates is because, they are fluid. And Ford gives out dates, then, it's going to be hard. I mean, if they have to move something around, it makes it look like they failed or something. But so I know they're just doing the best that they can to try to get those solid dates. So we don't know exactly when, but more than likely July, August, hopefully will be when the order banks open up for 23. So hopefully that's the case, and those can be opened up, and then that way we can go to the Detroit Auto Show and enjoy it like we did in New York and have some fun. Because when we go there, we got to do it won't be like the one we did in Chicago, but it's still.
Yeah.
All right.
Spexinator says, I live within 5 miles of Coachella, which was this weekend, and we have a Tesla supercharging station near probably 50 spaces. So 50 spaces for Tesla charging, which, I mean, you're lucky if you get 20 in Kansas City at the airport. So there's usually about 4 spots at each charging station around here. He said all were filled yesterday.
Wow.
Well, they're driving back from Coachella.
Yeah.
Most people going to Coachella are younger.
Yeah.
And they want EV. They're more into the EV.
And Teslas. I don't know.
How much you want, but they were all white.
Probably. I don't know. These people, though, they probably could afford the extra cost colors. Sorry, I will pay extra to not be white vehicle. Not that I have anything against white vehicle, but if I want to have it, I mean,
If you're gonna pay for a nice vehicle like that, you might as well go all in and get cost color.
I mean, if most of theirs are either white or black and any other color, it costs like an extra $1,000 or whatever. But
oyster crackers with your chili, that's the way to do it. We make chili, it's almost like a soup here instead of a sauce. And you have beans and tomatoes, and you throw in the oyster crackers. That's how you eat your chili. That, cheese, and then maybe a cinnamon roll.
I do like
cinnamon roll in the winter, cornbread in the fall.
Okay.
That's how the Davises do it.
Well, usually what do we do? Halloween, what do we do?
Cinnamon rolls?
It's always chili and cinnamon rolls.
No, it's stew.
Oh, yeah, we're doing
It's Halloween soup or stew. It's whatever she has on hand. She just throws in the pot. And then cinnamon rolls.
Yep.
The Davises eat nothing but chili.
How's our audio doing? Pretty good?
I think it's doing good.
Let us know if there's a delay. Not much we can do about it, but let us know. I'll get in that computer, so.
Yes, so we'll be at
next week we
Carlisle.
should
You
have
can
it.
meet up with us there at the show. Rayanne, if you want to meet up with me on our ride through the United States to Pennsylvania, let us know. We might meet you for dinner or something, so we'll see if Lebo's up to that.
Yeah, good luck on that.
Why are we stopping? Well, this person wants to meet me.
I
Yeah,
know.
I don't think so.
This is exactly what Barb said when we had an event here. Remember the festival here in town,
Yeah.
and I went over to get some food, and somebody had said, "Hey, you're the Ford video guy. I like watching your videos and this and that." Came back, I said, "Yeah, I met somebody watches videos," and my wife's like, "Whatever." I'm like, "What?" That happened again, and she wasn't with me, so she didn't believe me. But I guess she'll find out this week. So,
Yes.
anyway.
Well, Lebo already knows. He said he had someone come down. I think it was Jack. Came down to pick up his Maverick, and Lebo does our ceramics. So and our pro packs. So if you get a ceramic or pro pack, he's the one that puts it on for you. So he was talking to him about aftercare, and he's like, so I think it was Jack or one of our customers was like, hey, so how do I go about aftercare? And so they were talking about it. And then he was like, yeah, I know, this, da, 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 da. And he starts talking about things that I've talked about on the live stream about the kids and him and stuff. And Lee was like, just felt like he knows our whole life, or he knows us, and it was just creepy. It was kind of weird. And I'm like, we share a lot with our members, and really kind of make it a community or a family. And so I'm just like, yeah, I think that guy, I think he said he had watched every single video.
So Gino is gonna go to Tampa. He said something about driving the Polestar 2 from his hotel to Lakeland for the.
Awesome.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah, so I'd love to do that. So. I like to. Actually, might have an opportunity to go drive. What was it? The EV6.
Yeah.
Event, and I might see if I can get to that. So I am a member of the. Let's see, International Automotive. Motor Journalist, I don't know, association or something, and so occasionally they do different events where they bring in different manufacturers, and Hyundai is going to have some vehicles. Actually, it's an Iconic 6. It was Hyundai, not Kia.
Rayanne, I would love to meet you at your dealership. Yeah, how do you know these people? Oh, well, they work at McArthur.
All right.
On to our Q&A. You ready to hit that button?
Oh, yes.
It's like, do I need to reach over?
Even though I did forget the other. Forgot the Is It True one.
That's how I know where to separate it.
Oops. Well, you're not going to need to do an Is
harder.
It True this week. So listen to the recalls.
There were what, 4?
5.
5.
I think. All
right. Gotta do some finagling here.
You had quite a few in there.
Yes.
I'll let you answer them all.
I get to answer them all?
Sure.
All right. Any updates on 2023 model year deliveries for the Escape? Rayanne just said that they actually got some Escapes in. So they got 3 Escapes in.
Really? I was about ready to look up and see if ours were, because Ford used to tell us when the okay to buy was, and they haven't on these.
Well, Rayanne just said that they got 3 at their dealership.
Oh.
So that's exciting.
Where are they at?
She's in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, so that's closer to Kentucky.
Yep.
So
you probably
in Louisville, where they make those.
That's kind of what we saw with Maverick. So California, New Mexico, Texas, they were the first in Arizona, they were the first to get their Mavericks because they were the first stop coming out of Mexico.
Detroit dealers are always the first one to get F-150s when they start.
Kentucky will be the first to get Escapes. So the closer you are to the plant, the sooner you'll get your first vehicles.
Yep.
All right, Bronco Raptor scheduling this week. I don't think I heard you say Bronco Raptor.
What?
Bronco Raptor?
No. They weren't supposed to schedule this month at all. So they said specialty last week, and there were some people that got. So I don't think they're doing Bronco Raptors this month for the entire month. So
did Ford release something about Project T3?
They talked about their next truck is it's called Project T3. Trust the truck, but they haven't released any images or anything. Okay. And people are trying to speculate on what size it's going to be. I don't believe it's going to be as big as the F-150. A lot of people are saying it's the replacement of the F-150. I don't believe that's the case. I think it'll be a different truck. Have 2 electric trucks.
Which would be nice, because then you have a full-size truck and a smaller truck.
But they still need to make a $30,000 SUV.
Yes.
Make it a 2-row. I know they already have the Mach-E, but they need a $30,000 Mach.
Yes, I agree. If they came out with a $30,000 EV, I would jump on it.
But they need to be ready for production levels because they will sell out of those.
Yes. All right.
All right, you do that. I'm gonna look and see if I can see if we have any that are in transit.
Niles, I have a question for you, and I'll if you can answer it in the comments, then I'll read it out. Maverick, how much should I expect to pay at a dealership to install a lift kit on a Maverick EcoBoost all-wheel drive? So if you can answer that for us, Niles, that would be great. right, Super Duty Lariats Ultimate ordered 211, still on schedule clean. Have been seeing other similar builds scheduled and built with order dates after mine. Any ideas? Well, it depends on where they ordered.
Yeah, I mean, you need to focus more on at your dealer.
Yes.
So again, all scheduling happens within your
dealer.
dealership's allocations and within your dealership's orders. That's why a lot of times I'll look at our orders, but I can't say that with another dealer. So
yeah. Just like with Maverick, we see, you know, my dealer has I'm a priority 10. But I think all of our orders are priority 10s. But my friends at this other dealer just placed their brand new order. Mine's a rollover, and they got theirs already.
we got an escape in Kansas City.
Woohoo!
So our escapes will be getting here really soon. So I'm actually looking forward to it. And you know what? They're going to be here while I'm gone. But not necessarily. So next week we might be doing some videos on these. Well, of course, we have three.
We have.
At like the last two auto shows. But
Yes.
anyway.
4 high, 4 low. I see your question in here. I have not gotten to it yet. We have a slew of questions in here. So if I have not answered your question yet, hold on. I'll get to it.
I see it in there. Yep.
All right. So, yeah, if
Yep, I'll get to it.
it all depends on how your dealer has their orders prioritized. When they might have a later date, but that dealer might not have as many orders placed. There's a slew of things that could affect your order date getting scheduled versus another.
Yeah, it all happens within your dealership.
Yeah.
So, and you could, those orders that you're seeing with order dates after yours, that dealer could maybe have no carryovers.
Yes.
Right? Just like I was talking to a customer who's in here today from that's not too far away from here that ordered with us on a Maverick. And I said, well, we finally just got through our carryover orders. We had over 100 orders that didn't get scheduled in 22 that had priority over our 23 orders. We just finally got through those, and this was the first month, really, that we started 23 orders, new 23 orders getting scheduled. Whereas if there's another dealer, we were very progressive last year, and so we had a lot of orders last year. There are going to be dealers that they were like sleeping last year and didn't put a lot of orders in. They probably didn't have carryover orders. So then new orders would get scheduled. So if you're, just like I said,
Yeah.
so if they're at a dealership that didn't have any orders, but you had a dealership that had some other carryover orders, then that would be why. So, and you also need to look and compare it exactly to your specifications as well. Configuration has more to do with it than when you ordered. To be honest, I mean, if we did see that this week, we had some people that ordered. I put in like 60 orders the first night that the order banks opened up. 9 o'clock at night is when that finally we could flip the switch, and I sent them all over, submitted them all at the same time. I just punched them all and submitted them over. And we did see, of those orders, we saw a couple of people that got overlooked. And it's like, well, why? And a couple of them had moonroof. And not that moonroof's a constraint, but if they already had people ahead of us at our dealership have moonroofs, then that may be why those orders got overlooked, and that kind of thing. So, and then we did see somebody with splash guards. So if you have something on your orders, and again, more of those constraint items, if you have luxury Copilot 360 and you have a spray and bed liner and you have a hybrid, you have 4 constraint items on your order. If that other order doesn't have a Copilot 360, that's one less thing on it. If it didn't have the spray and bed liner, that's another less thing. So they only need to have 2 pass through to get their scheduled. So anyway,
all right, Niles answered our lift kit question. Lift kits for an EcoBoost Maverick should be somewhere between $1,100 and $1,500. Things to consider are labor rate, and you will need an alignment after it's lifted. There you go.
sometimes a recalibration if it's a bigger tire or wheel.
Yes. Yeah.
Speedometer recalibration.
Maverick, if mine would be previewing this week, will I see that, or will I just get an email Thursday about it being scheduled from Ford? You will get an email.
Yeah, only
on Thursday.
Only dealers can see if their orders are being previewed, so they can go into the orders.
Dealer.
Yeah, so your dealers could actually go in and look at their orders if you just select the model, and there's a column, the SVS column. If you click on it, there's one. It's a P. You uncheck the other two and just have the P checked, and then it will sort and show you all your orders, all the orders that are previewing. But they might preview today. They might even preview tomorrow. Doesn't mean those are the ones that get scheduled on Thursday. We actually saw that happen on a couple. We had like 4 orders that were previewing on Wednesday. I'm like, oh, good, because one of them I knew is a local person here that helps us at the dealership, and I'm like, oh, cool, it'd be really good to see his get scheduled, and his didn't. So, all right, moving on.
Alrighty. What does unscheduled clean mean? Also, is there a certain day of the week that Ford will email me if they ever decide to build my F-150 that I ordered in August? You will get an email when they do schedule. An unscheduled clean just means that you don't have anything that with constraints.
Yeah. The other option is that it might say like balanced out, which means you have something on your order that no longer they can produce, or compatibility issue. Sometimes that happens. So unscheduled clean is a good thing. It means that Ford can actually build your order.
Yep. Yeah. Maverick, when in the process should a person start talking to Niles about aftermarket add-ons? So when your vehicle is on the rail and it's getting shipped to us, you can either reach out to us or we have Niles reach out to you to talk about what ads you want to put on there.
Yeah, because you do want to have those here before the vehicle gets here, but usually 4 weeks is enough time. So it usually takes 4 weeks to go from the factory to us. That gives us time to get it in.
So not when it's released, not when it's in production, when it's on the rail.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes production's okay, but sometimes it can be a good month it's in production.
Yeah.
Our issue is that if we have people, you get a scheduled build date 2 months in advance. So if you just got scheduled this week for dates in June, we can't have those parts sitting, because it won't take us but a week or 2 to get those parts. We don't have room in our parts department to have 3 months of production in there. Our parts department would kill us. So that's why we usually wait until it actually is built and it's been shipped out, then get the parts, because it won't take us that long to get those parts.
Are Bronco order banks still open?
Yes, they are. I know that's been like a lot of people ask about that, but they are, with the exception of course, don't forget Base, Everglades, and Heritage Edition are not open, and Bronco. But the way Bronco happens anyway is your dealer gets an allocation and the dealer can put a stock one in. So that's, to me, wasn't a huge deal when they said Bronco order banks are closed, because usually, since they're manually allocated, it doesn't matter if it's a retail or stock order. All you do is you give the order number to your sales and inventory specialist when you get an allocation. So if you don't have an order in there at all, and you say, hey, you get an allocation and we don't have a Raptor order in there, we just put a stock one in, and we give them that stock number, or that order number. So that's how easy it is. But yes, so those are the ones. Everything else still available to order as of right now. And I think the reason it's still available is that dealers try to keep to what their estimates were that Ford gave them, and I think Ford underestimated those numbers, my opinion, because if I look at the capacity, Ford is within the capacity on 2-doors, but we had more orders on 2-doors than we could actually probably build. So that's why I think actually the head of our region actually mentioned that, said go ahead and put more in than what your number looks like, because there might be some other dealers within the region that they won't have any, and so they're going to still have that certain capacity within the region. They'll have to go somewhere, and if you have maybe an extra 2 or 3, then you can go ahead and get those. So that's why we went ahead and took them, but just made that conversation with our customers, letting them know that there is a possibility it may not get built this year, but if it doesn't, you're going to be first in line next year. We'll make sure your order's prioritized. So anyway, all right.
Brandon Jones says, Maverick, I saw someone with post a solid question on the subreddit today. What would you say is the biggest value proposition besides Copilot 360 and what's AC?
Adaptive cruise control.
Oh, adaptive cruise control. Trying to convince my wife. It's safety.
Yeah.
I like the Copilot 360 because it makes it safer for me and my kids to be in the vehicle. Adaptive cruise control is amazing. That way you don't have to be slamming on your brakes. Or you don't
it even gives you lane centering.
Yeah, it gives you lane centering too. So you're not going to go over that line. You're going to stay there.
Yep.
I mean, it's a safety that I wish it was installed on all Ford models across the board, no matter what trim level it was on, because that is a necessity that I see in vehicles.
Yep. I mean, even if you don't use the bliss, which puts the light in the mirror if there's somebody beside you, when you're backing up, the cross traffic is well worth it.
Yes.
I mean, because
exactly.
if there's someone coming, you're in that parking lot, those people, they're going too fast in the parking lot, and you might start backing up, and there's nobody there, and then all of a sudden there's somebody there.
Well, and then, you have those lifted trucks with the longer beds, or just trucks not parked in the spot correctly. They're sticking out. You can't see people walking around those.
But your system will see it.
But your system will. So those are great examples of, you need it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's a need.
There are a lot of models that Ford has where the Copilot 360 is standard. The lane keeping, the bliss, cross traffic are all standard, and it should be standard on a Maverick, but it's not. And then the adaptive cruise, I really wish that was available on XLT as well, like it is on an XLT F-150, because again, the adaptive cruise control that with the lane centering, it's on our Expedition, and it works really well. So that's a pretty good system too, but not a mandatory system as for safeties involved, but I think the Copilot 360 is. So anyway.
Yep. All right.
And I'm looking over here because that's where the questions are. So
yeah, he's
I'm not
just looking at the
I'm
questions.
not looking away at you guys.
All right. Did we get any allocations for Maverick this week?
We used all of our allocations last week.
Okay.
Typically on the Maverick, because we have so many different configurations of the Maverick, that we always use all of our allocations the first week. Some dealers may not use up all theirs the very first week, because if they don't have orders like that, they'll schedule what they can. And then the next week, if they have an availability for something that comes back to that vehicle, then they can go ahead and schedule that one. Otherwise, they give the dealer a chance to take some things off their orders to say, hey, here's what had gotten scheduled if we take this off. Let's go ahead and try to do that so we can use this allocation. But for us, since we have a bunch of different ones, all of ours are used the first week. So.
Yep. How long after your scheduled production week do you get your scheduled production date? My Super Duty is scheduled for the week of May 8th, so it's probably about a week or two before. Depends on when. Is it when it's scheduled today it gets sent to factory, or is that when it goes into production?
That's when
it's
being sent to the plant.
Okay.
The production day, when that's usually it really depends on the model, but sometimes we're seeing it about a month out.
Yeah.
It gets the production day, but I say that with this preference is that day moves a lot. You can ask, I don't know if William's in here, but you can ask him. His has been moved around so much. And you can tell some of our Maverick people too that every week we gotta go through it with our members, and we keep seeing the date move around within the week. So you might get that date like a month out from your production week, but it still doesn't mean it's solid. They can still move around even up to about a week. Usually about a week and a half, 10 days to 2 weeks out from your production date is usually it won't move anymore. So
All right. Thank you, Donald.
Yeah.
I paid extra for White Star Metallic Tri-Coat.
Yes. That's not what Tesla puts on there.
No.
There's at no charge. But yes, that anything with a tri-coat is definitely worth it. Those are pretty.
Yeah.
So
Tri-coat means it has 3 different layers of color. So it's not just one color, it's going to be 3 different color layers.
And he paid more than $20 for his. So,
yeah.
Appreciate that. But was it $7.95 I think for Star White? But
yes.
Yeah. So all right.
Here we go. Any of you get a call from your dealer about being placed in preview for your Bronco? So some dealers will call and let you know that that you're in preview, but we don't like to do that just because you could not get scheduled that week. Preview means that Ford is looking at it to possibly schedule you, but we've seen, they may preview but not schedule you that week. They may do it the next week, or the week after. So previewing just means they're like, oh, what does this one have on it? Do we have what we need on this? So previewing does not mean that you're going to get scheduled. So a lot of dealers do not tell their customers that they are previewing unless it gets scheduled on Thursday.
You have a little delay, I think.
Oh.
Here, let me close this.
No, it was jumping right on cue.
Okay. All right. And I will say this too is that, yeah, we don't like to tell our customers when they're previewing because we get their hopes up sometimes. So my order was previewing at least one week before it's scheduled the next. So, and yeah, so we hate to get your hopes up a little bit. And Spectator, Velocity Blue was not a tri-coat color.
That Velocity Blue wasn't a cost color, I believe.
No, it wasn't.
Atlas
it's a metallic though.
Yes, but it was
Atlas Blue's not either.
Alto. Alto blue is a cost color, and that is because it has a clear coat. So it has another coat on top of the paint. So
we see clear coats. We usually like the Rapid Red tinted clear coat. We'll have that's usually $500 more for clear coats. Tri coats are usually anywhere from $800 to usually about $800 more.
Yeah.
So, Cyber Orange is a tri coat.
Is a tri coat. Hot Pepper Red is a clear coat.
Is a clear coat, yeah.
So on Maverick, you have Hot Pepper Red and Alto Blue as your clear coats, and then Cyber Orange as your tri-coat.
And then, of course, you get on the Bronco Sport Heritage Edition, if you get that robin's egg, that's $1,000 for that color.
But that's because it's limited, right?
Yeah. Yes.
It's only on one trim.
It costs a lot to get a past retro color. We had to go back to 1966 to get that color, so it cost $1,000. All right.
Maverick has been in production since 3/31. How long will it be built? So production can mean a whole range of time. So in production is when it gets sent to the factory. Your window sticker gets sent over. They get everything ready, and they start building it. They get the shell in. They do all of that, and then it gets put off. It goes through the line. And then in production can even be until it needs to go through the checks. It needs to get filled up. It needs to, if they have anything that is signaling, firing disabled signals or, wrong signals on it, they have to fix it. So in production can be a long range of time. I wouldn't say that, it would be hard to estimate when it will get done while it's in production. So
the actual production does not take that long, but you have 4 different statuses of your order. It's order processing, then you have scheduled, and then you have in production. So the in production part starts when that order or that window sticker is printed and sent to the plant. That's when it actually changes from an order scheduled to in production. Say that I would say by now, since that was the 31st, it should be any day now that you'll get an email that says it's in transit, which is the next status.
Or released.
Well,
sometimes they say release, but sometimes they just go to
there's a secondary
transit.
There's a secondary category.
Right.
Order in production is one, and then actually like a trim line, that kind of thing is the secondary, and then in transit, one of the secondary is released. So, but
you get your window sticker about a week, or when you get your scheduled today, right?
Once Ford, what will happen is your status will say in production, and your secondary status will say sent to plant. That's when the window sticker is available.
Okay.
So, and then it'll go from sent to plant to actually in production, and that usually only takes a couple days.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
It's kind of misleading.
My F-150 XLT order with black appearance package comes with 20-inch wheels and all-terrain tires. Does that mean I have 0 chance of being scheduled?
Okay, so black appearance package, the all-terrain tires we talked about earlier was the 17-inch. Oh wait, no. It does say the 20-inch all-terrain tires. So yes, black appearance package is going to be limited in production, but this is you'd have to look and see what all-terrain tire you have. There is an optional all-terrain tire this in here says T24. So it depends on what all-season tire you have or all-terrain tire you have. You'd have to look at your order, so it may not necessarily be yours. So probably if you have the wheel that comes with the black appearance package, you're probably good because more than likely it's not an all-terrain tire unless you also have FX4 package.
Yeah.
But that would have said FX4 package then if that's a problem. So it's probably the optional all-terrain tire than anything. You'd have to look.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Heard today that Ford China will be producing Ford Edge and Lincoln Nautilus for USA market when Oakville, Canada shuts down for EV Explorer, Aviator, or to conversion for EV Explorer and Aviator. Info says order desk is open for 2024. I feel like that's just talk.
No, that's what I heard too. They mentioned because we were at the Nautilus information today,
right.
and the Nautilus and it looks like the Edge 2 are both going to be built over there. Now the Edge that we're seeing though is not the same Edge that we're seeing here. So the one over there, that's a 3-row seat Edge that's been made for Europe. That is not coming over. But I did hear that this is the first time the Nautilus is going to be made in China, but imported into the U.S. So that is true. And so I did hear that information. Now for the Oakville plant, we actually talked about that. Did we talk about that last week? I felt like we did.
I feel like we did.
And that one there is going to be retooled for an all-electric vehicle that we don't know yet. It's not necessarily going to be that Explorer. The Explorer that we've been seeing as an EV Explorer that's released in Europe is not what we're going to see. So sometimes we see things announced for globally in Europe. Don't always assume they're going to come to the U.S. Because they may not. When the Ranger came back years ago, it was in Europe for several years before we did see it in North America. Just like it was last year, a lot of people thought the 23 Ranger was going to be what the 24 is going to look like, and a lot of people, they followed me. They knew the real facts was the 23 was Europe first, next gen for Europe, and then a year later we would see it in the U.S. So same way on this, the Explorer that we're seeing, the EV Explorer that we're seeing announced in Europe, we don't know necessarily that's coming over here. So, and the Explorer in Europe is not the same. It's like the Edge and Explorer swap places in Europe. So the EV Explorer is going to be 2 rows of seats. I think it's going to be smaller, like Edge or Escape size, and the Edge is going to be 3-row seats. So it's like they flipped in Europe. So yeah, you just gotta. That's why too, when you see trademarks for Europe, I don't get too excited until I see that it's going to be in the U.S. So we've been seeing, Ford is doing a patent to get trademark for the word Lightning, the Maverick, Lightning, and Thunder, and such. Well, that was in Europe. I think now they have it in the U.S. Now recently, but so you always got to look and see where they're talking about and get all the facts on that. So sometimes just look at the headlines. You got to kind of read the article.
Thank you, John Ashton.
Yes, thank you for that donation. Appreciate
he
that.
says, you are correct. It was $4.95 for Rapid Red on my Maverick. I think you probably mean hot pepper.
Red. He had the first edition. Yeah, he had a first edition.
That's right.
Yeah, first edition had Rapid Red, was only available in 22 and only for
I forget about that. I really wish I had gotten the first edition, but I mean now it's kind of null and void because
moved on. All right. Next question. How are we doing here? See if we got any messages yet. Or we need to. Oop. All right. Okay. 8:20. Got a little bit of time. Let's answer a few more questions.
If I understood correctly, I'd like to change my order to cloth seats on the Bronco. You can do that. No?
What model is it on?
Bronco.
I know, but as an Outer Banks member, you can't get can't get cloth seats.
Oh.
Basically, if you had cloth seats prior to the March 27th ordered bank opening up, then it can stay cloth seats, but you can't order an Outer Banks with a leather and switch over to cloth. That's not available. What you could do is have a dealer try to put in a stock order. Again, good luck getting that, because if there's a reason why they didn't let a retail do it, they're not going to probably schedule a dealer to do a stock one that way. So again, a dealer, like I could go ahead and put in an Outer Banks order with cloth seats as a stock, but the first ones for us, our allocations are going to go to the retail customers first before they even look at a stock order. Right. Unless, like with us, we don't, like right now, that's what I said. If you have a 4-door cloth top, you got a dynamite. I mean, more than likely you're going to get scheduled
Yeah.
because there are very few cloth top orders in the order bank. We have, out of all the orders that we have put in, 2 of all of our orders for Bronco are cloth top. And guess what? Those 2 orders are both previewing this week.
Mm-hmm.
And so for Mr. Wallace, I just told you you're previewing, but we'll just see how that ends up. But so like if Ford needs some cloth tops built, that would be the only case where you might see a stock order be selected. And so that is a possibility that if you want a cloth top Outer Banks with the cloth seats, you might be able to get a stock one built. But again, that's, taking that chance. So you could have your dealer, if you have an Outer Banks order in as a retail, have your dealer put a stock one in too with cloth seats and just see what happens.
Yeah.
There's always a chance.
Okay. Hi guys, so I read content on Facebook where this guy says dealer told him they were not making Heritage this year. Is this true? Also, the order bank closed for the Heritage?
Okay, no. I don't know if the order bank closed, but the notes are that they're not scheduling Heritage Editions.
Yes.
So when we talk about, and this is where when people post things that they hear just a little bit and don't hear the whole thing, this is why I hate journalists that don't get all of the facts and people that post in the forums and don't get everything, all the tidbits of information. That's why I kind of try to watch us, not because I want you to, which I do, but we do give you all the details. Like today, when we talked about no additional Tremor 402s or Heritage packages are being scheduled, that's for this week. We don't know. We have not gotten any kind of confirmation from Ford that there is a balance out on the Heritage Editions. We'll get a memo. If that's the case, we would get a memo on that. And we haven't received a memo yet. So I can look, and today I probably can't while we're on the stream, but next week when we actually have a better computer, I could probably look up and see if we could try to order one, because we may, when you try to put that package in there, it may say balanced out and not allow us to, but I haven't checked that out. So we'll, and if not, remind us next week, come back next week, we can try it next week and see, and we might even do it on live stream and see if we're able to do that. But as of right now, I haven't gotten any kind of dealer memo saying that the Heritage Edition is balanced out, which is what they'd call that if you can't order it anymore.
How many orders have you had this month which were abandoned at delivery? You keep the deposit, and this is on Maverick. So I don't think we've had very many get. They didn't pass. Not very many people have passed on their Mavericks lately. And we did.
EcoBoost.
Yeah,
Seems like.
EcoBoost. But we did not get a deposit on our Maverick orders, and so there was no deposit to keep.
Yeah. And usually the way we do that is that if, especially on some of the other models, if you're going to order one and we have you put a deposit down, you'll get that deposit back if you know that you can't take it before it gets scheduled. Because once it gets scheduled, we can't change anything on that order. We can try, but a lot of times you can't. So once it gets scheduled, then we're going to kind of tie you to that of your order. We've had people, though, that don't tell us.
Mm-hmm.
We had one, and they've had this order in for a year, right? So in some cases, they might have forgotten about it because nothing's happened, right? They haven't gotten any messages or anything. So then they moved on and purchased something, and that's fine. Just let your dealer know. If you have an order in there, you decide you can't take it for some reason, let your dealer know so that somebody else at that dealership can get scheduled. We've been very fortunate. We've probably canceled 30 orders for Maverick so far this year, and we did go in there and cancel them. We didn't leave them in there so that we could just sell them. We want the vehicles that come in to go to the customers that need them. And when we have people with Maverick orders in, we want to help as many possible customers as many customers as possible. And so we want those orders to come in. So if you're don't need yours anymore, maybe you found something. Maybe your car broke down on you. You didn't have a choice but to get something. If that happens, let your dealer know so we can cancel the order so that the next person in line can get theirs, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's not really a line, but you know what I mean. Another order could get scheduled, instead of that one.
Maverick originally ordered Area 51. A few months later, I changed it to carbonized gray. Last week, I got my email for scheduling. However, it was still showing Area 51. Can they fix this?
Okay, for one, colors can be updated easily.
Yes.
Really up to the point to where you get a window sticker. you can at that point. But anytime before that. But just because your email still shows Area 51 doesn't mean that's what your order has.
Yes.
Because that's basing it off of when you originally ordered your vehicle. So
Yeah.
have your dealership look and say, hey, can you look and see what my color is on mine? Because I wanted carbonized gray. Could you make sure it's still carbonized gray? And then they can look it up and tell you, oh, yeah, we switched out to carbonized gray a while back, and it looks like the order is showing carbonized gray.
Mm-hmm.
Have them print out a sheet if you want of what it looks like. And if it's not, if it's Area 51 and they forgot to actually submit the changes, which that's happened here before, they can still make that change. And if they say they can't, say, well, could you try just to appease me? Because I've heard other dealers being able to do that and see if they'll try. So some dealerships are scared to death to try to do anything to that order, thinking that's going to mess up that order that's scheduled. But what'll happen is you can try to make any change. You could actually try to change the trim and all kinds of stuff if you want. But what'll happen is when you submit that, then Ford will look at it and either accept or deny the changes.
Mm-hmm.
They're called amendments. They don't have to accept your amendment. But color is one of those. That's easy. Because here's actually how it happens. Your vehicle doesn't actually get painted. Did you guys know that? So when your order is given to the factory, they don't go in there and go, okay, here's a shell, go paint that white because this one's white, and then we'll move on, because that still has to dry, right? That's going to take too many days. What they do instead is because we know this because we were at one of the factories, they say, here's how many whites we need with or without a moonroof cutout, right? And then they bring over that many to start the production. And then when they get a white one, they look at the order and go, well, this one's a white one. They slap it on that shell, and then they move it into the production line, and then they start putting your vehicle together.
Yep.
That's how that works. So that's why a color can be changed even up to a week before or as soon. But as soon as you get your window sticker, you're set and done. That's the way it's going to be built. Period. But color is one of the easiest things to get changed because of that reason.
When that window sticker gets sent to the plant, that's when they're shipping or they're moving the shells over to the factories and from where they're stored. Yeah. So up until that point, they can switch it out. Because
they're planning they got to plan, like today it's Tuesday. They got to plan for next week. So they got to see, okay, do we have all the place in the factory and everything? Do we have everything we need? So that's why they're looking and pulling the window stickers for somebody's working on that for the next week, while the people that week are building their vehicles. So they need to know like a week or so or 10 days in advance. So they're going to pull all and that's usually when your window stickers are available, that's when that order is being sent to the plant so they can make sure they have everything. Yeah. At that point, it's too late.
What we didn't see at the factory, or what they didn't really show us, is they do have parts in the warehouse or in the factory. And so they have them stockpiled down on the other half of the factory. So there's people that are going through and prepping the parts and making sure that they're all set to go for that order.
Yep. Counting, know what they have and that kind of stuff. So, all right.
Like, oh, this one we need 5 white rear view mirrors, and 5 white side mirrors and 5 gray and 5 blue. Getting them set in order so that way they're good to go. All right. Shane noticed on the list of scheduled maps Friday that most were all priority 11. But all non-rollovers were priority 15.
Yep, we did move some of ours around. So
yeah.
Yep. So you're one of our members. So so you watched the member live video. So yes. So as we now have all of our 10s scheduled. Our 10, 11, 12s, because we actually had put our carryovers in as 10, 11, 12. So we started based on the date. We started moving those up into those other priorities. But yep.
Yep. All right. Now the question. Ford called me today about Bronco recall. Left side lug bolts, told me not to drive. They actually called closest dealer to set up mobile service. Will be done Friday. Very impressed.
There you go.
That is amazing.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the recall we talked about earlier.
Yep.
All right.
4 high, 4 low.
Finally,
I called Ford's support line and asked where my private offer for my coveted 22 to 23 Bronco. Now that I have a VIN and window sticker, they couldn't find it. What should I do?
Your dealer can get a hold of your sales and inventory specialist to get your private offer.
Yep.
So that's what they need to do is as long as they COVP'd your order, which at this point, if you got carried over, that shouldn't be an issue at all. They just need to contact your sales and inventory specialist. They'll ask them what they need from you in your 22 order. They have all the information in their system. They should have. And they can get that for you. So there's been several situations where the private offers have like disappeared. Like we had this on Maverick. I actually had pulled a bunch of them, and I had the certificate numbers and everything for a bunch of these, and even some Broncos. And then like a month later, the vehicles came in and such, and they weren't there anymore. And so they like just disappeared. But we contacted sales and inventory specialists. Within a couple days, we had the private offer number.
Mm-hmm.
So if your dealership needs to contact them, contact their Ford rep. Some dealers now, we have a Ford rep now, but most of them don't. But sales and inventory specialists is who they need to contact to get that private offer. So hopefully your dealership's willing to do that for you and not say, nope, it doesn't have it, because it's not a cut and dry. They know that the transition private offers have been very sporadic and inconsistent. They know there's a problem there. They will get it for you. So.
Is it too early to ask about the second annual Midwest Maverick meetup?
We're talking about that today.
Yes.
We don't have a date yet.
No.
It's going to be in August, though.
Yep.
And it's going to be a similar location to what we had last year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and they have a new playground. I forgot about that.
Yes, they're working on that playground over there.
It's finished.
So we are going to, this year, instead of parking in the parking lot, we're going to park in, there's some sides where there's no curb. There's some grass. We're going to have people park in the grass in the shaded areas, so it'll be a little bit nicer. But yes, we don't have a date yet, so we'll get you as soon as we get a date. We'll let you guys know so you guys can plan accordingly. But
yeah,
yep,
because we want to get that in as soon as possible, because we know people are planning vacations and they want to possibly stop over on that. All right, did Ford give a date for 24 Ranger pre-orders?
Well, pre-orders you could do with your dealer. I have a list of people that want to order a Ranger with me, and I have a list of their email addresses ready to go, but we have no information on when order banks will be open yet. Anyway.
All right.
We'll keep you posted here. Definitely.
Yeah. Will Ford build all ordered F-150s with black appearance package, or did they take more orders than they can produce?
They should. I'm actually surprised that not all of yours have. I mean, we're down to the point right now, like we have F-150 orders that are previewing this week, and they're all stock because all of our retails have been scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have a couple, but unless black appearance package would be the harder ones because the production levels are a little bit lower. But I'd be concerned if you don't have some sort of constraint item on your order. Make sure you don't have a tonneau cover or spray and bed liner put on yours. Actually, I think black appearance package comes with spray and liner. But if you have any optional spray and liners, splash guards, bed covers, get all those off your orders. If you have that on your order, get rid of them. So.
Well, 44 says, I can taste gold G Fuel from Tim's Lightning Frunk at the park in Salina from here.
Did you last year?
Yeah. Sure, Vols was here.
I don't remember. A lot of people here.
Or
The names here and the real names. Match them
Gotcha.
up. So.
I remember
Alright.
Vols. Have you sold any basic XL EcoBoost yet? I ordered a basic bare bones XL thinking they would there would be no supply chain issues. Now think it wasn't the best idea.
All right, so XL production numbers are 15% is their capacity, and so we are seeing some XL schedule. We had one or two scheduled last week, so they are scheduling, of course, smaller quantities. EcoBoost should help your order. So, but yeah, and then there really aren't too many like things that you can add on there that would affect it. Make sure you don't have splash guards or a bed cover on there. Again, I recommend you taking any of those accessories off, but otherwise, it may take a little longer because it's an XL. I mean, if you went a base XLT and switched the trim to XLT, and I don't know, switch and trim could affect some things, but if you switch from an XL to an XLT, you still keep price protection as long as you don't change the body code, which would be all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. But I would, if I were you, if you wanted to get quick and you have it in XL, go XLT. It's a little more expensive. You do get some other standard features, but you're probably more likely to get scheduled. With an XLT without the luxury package, you'll probably get scheduled fairly quickly, I would think. So.
All right. Are the police interceptors available to the public?
No. They're usually fleets. You have to have a fleet number for those.
Yep. And usually dealerships bid out. I think we actually had a member message me who works for a police station, and he does the ordering of their interceptors, and he wanted to get a bid from us to see if we would be an option.
Yep.
So we got him with our fleet manager here. Or fleet. Is he a fleet manager?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Ryan, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yes.
We like our dealers that are in here because that means they want to stay up to date and educated on what's going on, and commend them for that. So,
can I get price protection private offer on my Bronco built last week? If you
price protection on your Bronco built last week.
So yeah. If it was a rollover, you get private offer, and you'll get price protection to the date that you ordered.
And then if yours was a carryover from 22, you should have the private offer, the transition private offer as well. So, so yes.
A rollover offer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What are your thoughts on ceramic coat if I'm getting a wrap in a few years? Niles might be able to answer that a little bit more, but I would say go ahead and get the ceramic. That's going to protect your paint until you get that wrap done. Depending on if it's going to be a full wrap or you're doing just certain parts, that ceramic coating is really going to keep your paint free, not free of chips, but more protected and ready to go. And be more ready for that wrap later on. Okay. Do you have any insight on the standard Heritage Edition Bronco delays? We went over that?
Well, delays, Heritage Edition, we don't know. We don't know capacity numbers yet. We know that 10% of the orders in the order bank are Heritage Edition. I can tell you that. But they haven't released what their capacity is going to be to know where those are at. So we'll just have to see.
All right. Sorry if I'm doing this wrong. I'm new. Is there anything I can or should do to get my Super Duty F350 Lariat scheduled? It would be hard without looking at your order to see if you have constraints or things on there that are holding you up. But
in about every truck, a tonneau cover, splash guards, optional spray and liner.
At the dealer installed or third party installed
are going to be constraints. So, and I will say on top of that, if you have like a Super Duty, and of course the King Ranch Platinum and Limiteds weren't really available to start being scheduled for production until recently. So give it some time for that. But also the production numbers for like the Black Appearance Package and such like that are a little bit lower too. So if you have that on your order, but otherwise, just depends on the production numbers. But yeah, don't put tonneau covers on. The Vista roof is actually an issue right now too. So if you have the dual panel moon roof, that can actually delay it. Definitely take off your spray and bed liner. So that kind of thing. If you do have like the fifth wheel, that could take longer to get scheduled because they have more people that want that fifth wheel prep package. So that unfortunately does delay it a little bit. So, but it's something that a lot of people want to have it from the factory. So, but anyway, otherwise, yeah.
How much is the ceramic coating? I believe it's $12 to $1,500, somewhere in there. I think Niles could tell you.
Yeah, we usually leave that to our aftermarket team. We don't know.
I feel like
that's about right.
I think he said 15 in the past, but it could also be 12.
Yeah, Niles will be able to help with that.
We can roll that into your car deal. If you're getting it done when you purchase the vehicle, we can roll it into your car deal as well. Alrighty.
D-Tronic. Oh wait, what one are you on right now?
Justin Michael.
Okay.
Wait, what's up?
Oh, I was going to answer this one, but then I realized it was in your... Oh, wait.
Oh, okay. Hi, Tim and Sarah. Could you give me a rough estimate of how long Mavericks are taking from being shipped from Mexico to show up at your dealer? Mine is heading up to Iowa after a 14-month wait. So for us, it's about 4 weeks.
Really, about any place in the country, it's about 4. I mean, if you were like down in Arizona, it would probably be like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But but typically once once you get to Midwest or after, it's usually about 4 weeks. So that's
Mm-hmm.
usually once. And I always say once it's actually on a rail car, because a lot of times you'll get it. It'll say it's built, but it hasn't actually been put on a rail car to be shipped out. And
Mm-hmm.
so they'll say it's released from the plant, means it goes into a holding yard until the shipping will actually put it on a train. I like to say, hey, once it's been put on a rail and get a rail car number, then you figure about 4 weeks. 'Cause sometimes it can be like a week or two before it even gets on there. And then you said, well, mine took 6 weeks, not 4 weeks, like you said. And that's typically, I say 4 weeks from once it's actually on the train and headed
Yeah.
across the border, that kind of thing. All right.
Yeah. Okay. What size is the hitch receiver inches? I do not
The hitch
have
receiver for what?
a model. I've seen him asking. Sorry, wrong one. I've seen him asking about Maverick. I believe this is from
I
Wayne.
think it's the regular, or I think it's the
Yeah.
2-inch receiver hitch.
Yeah.
I think typically
Yeah.
what you see like on Explorer and even Escape, I believe.
I'm pretty sure it's a 2-inch
Yeah,
because we had to
think
get
so.
a
2-inch receiver. It's the yeah.
Yeah, I had to get a ball joint for mine, and
It's
it
the
was a
typi-
2-inch. Yeah.
It's the typical size that most of them are that you
Yeah.
get.
You won't need a special one for it.
Something you
It
can
was
get.
pretty easy for me to go find one.
Yep.
All right. If all color options on Maverick were free, what color would you choose besides Area 51?
On the Maverick.
Yes, on the Maverick. I do like the Area 51, but if Area 51 were not an option, hot pepper red. I did not think I would like it when I first heard about it, but I fell in love with it. I absolutely love it.
Didn't like it on the Ranger, but I do like it on the Maverick.
Yes, it's gorgeous on the Maverick.
And but I do like Atlas Blue. I like
Atlas
my blues.
I love my blues, and I know my blues. I know the name of my blues.
Is 2 inches, so that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I know the names of my blues.
Mhm.
I know which one is grabber blue and which one is velocity blue.
All right.
All right. Can you talk about the cloth and leather seats on the Wild Track? Is cloth a constraint?
Yeah, we talked about that
Yep, we
earlier.
did.
So on the Outer Banks and Wild Track, it's not a constraint. If you have an order with cloth on yours, then you have an early build because you couldn't add it to a new order. So that means you had one before the order banks opened up already from 20, and that probably got rolled over from 22. So you're going to be, you should be good on getting that. But they didn't allow any new orders to have cloth, so they could take care of those people. So.
Okay. Answered that one. Can you guys or Niles recommend a reputable place to get a different grill? I've seen them on IAG sometimes, but other places look sketchy.
All right. So if you want one of the factory grills, you can just get it through your local Ford dealer.
Yep.
So your Ford parts department can order. That's what I did. I wanted the Black Diamond grill, which is actually the same grill as the base, by the way, unless they're including the letters on them now, which some of them are. But back when I got mine in 21 model year, the first thing I did when I got my Bronco was I don't like the Big Bend grill. I don't like that's just me, my preference. I didn't like the carbonized painted grill because there's nothing else carbonized gray on the entire vehicle other than the wheels, which I knew I was taking off. So I wanted the Black Diamond. So back then, the grill, the same design on the base as the Black Diamond. The difference is the color of the letters. I had to get the letters separate and put them in. I think now they're including the letters with it. But you can, if you want any of the different factory grills that are out, let's say you want the Badlands grill or you want the Outer Banks grill, go to your parts department. They can order it for you. So, and they're not difficult. Did a video on my personal channel if you want to watch that. One of the first videos I did on the Bronco. Did it myself. And it's not that, there's some clips in there. You actually just pop it out. And if you have a new grill, you can just pop it right back in. I think you have a couple different screws you screw in at the top. And it's not that difficult. Mine was a little more difficult because, again, like back then, the letters weren't included with the grill, so I actually had to put the letters in and I had to melt them down on the back so they wouldn't move. So I had to do a little bit of that to them. But
Yep.
otherwise, any other grills, aftermarket ones, look for reputable companies. I didn't know IAG made them.
If you are looking for reputable places, Niles put in his email at nileslmp@gmail.com. He can certainly help you in knowing which ones would be good to look at. Especially because you're ordering yours through us. Niles can certainly assist you with that.
Yep.
All right. Real quick, McArthur was asking, do you know plans for Friday? I need to leave the stream soon.
Because I was going to talk about that. Actually, I meant to talk about it here. But I do plan, I think that 2 p.m. they're doing a ride to the Cades, and I think we plan on doing that one. So if you want to go along with us, then email me. I won't be out of email range, so I'll email you back and forth, Mike, and we'll get connected. If you're coming over Friday afternoon, I'll drive the Bronco out of the field so that you can get in with me, and we can go in, and then we can go if you want to ride along with us.
But he's not answering work emails, so if you have questions...
Well, I'm using the same email. Yeah, the Timothy Bartz at Gmail.
Yeah, Timothy Bartz at Gmail. Those are if you have Supercell questions the next few days, email him there. If you have other questions that you want answered and it needs to be in the next week, email me at thefordvideoguy@gmail.com. I'll answer those while he's gone.
Yep. All right.
Okay. Will Ford's Garage on May 1st be midday or towards evening hours?
It'll be more of a dinner. So yeah, my thinking is like 5 p.m. something like that. So.
How many HG Broncos are being built? Not the limited.
We don't know that number yet.
They just
we know
going until they go.
We know what the order numbers are, and that's 10% of the orders in the order bank right now are Heritage Edition, and they're not taking any more orders this year. So if you're wanting one of those for next year, you might want to pre-order. You might want to get that information to your dealer so that they can put that in right away, because they may close out of that as well. And hopefully this is a Heritage Edition, is something they continue to do after 24. They actually said it was only going to be for 23, 24, but you just never know.
Yep. All right. The only way I get rid of a Maverick if Ford came out with a Super Cab. Any chance? Super Cab Maverick. Don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
No. You are scheduled for June, but your dealer didn't add the bedliner cleat tie-down kit discount, put the wrong rims. Can you still add them?
Okay, so if it's scheduled, probably not at this point. You can try if you just got scheduled to add those things on there, but it may not go. So anyway, I don't know if that will happen. So, right.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, and then the wheels, I mean, an optional wheel in the Maverick. I don't know. I know there's special wheels on different packages, but I don't know about, that. So.
Hi, I spoke with Ford and they told me a lot of parts came in yesterday for my Heritage Bronco. If they're getting my parts, does this mean I'm getting 23 Heritage built this year?
Okay, so spoke with Ford and they told me a lot.
We ordered our Heritage 327 and we were #1 allocation at the dealer. What are our chances built this year? So are you already scheduled? That was 2 different people.
Okay, so first of all, you won't be told the parts are in for your vehicle. That's not how it works. So Ford customer support is totally wrong there. They need a little more training. That's not how this works.
No.
You're going to get scheduled, yes or no, for your Heritage Edition. They're not going to say, okay, we have enough parts for this person at this city, in this state, at this dealership. They're not going to be that specific. They don't have time for that.
No.
They know how many Heritage Editions they can schedule for within each region. They're going to schedule them. They won't.
They can say, we have the parts for it, but
they can't
can't say for yours specifically.
What they're probably saying is because you have an unscheduled clean, they're saying that they have parts for yours. That's not really how it works. So That's not quite the case. So, but we still know they are still scheduling
Yes.
and producing Heritage Edition, so you should be good. So,
Okay.
what's the second one on that?
We ordered our Heritage 327. We were number 1 allocation at the dealer. What are our chances of getting built this year?
Okay, so
So were you
technic-
scheduled?
technically you weren't the first. I mean, the dealer gets allocations and then they get scheduled based on configurations. So if they don't plan to schedule any Heritage Editions, you can have, like, this week is the first week we're going to see scheduling once the order banks opened up again.
Yeah.
And the 5 allocations that, or 6 that we have, none of them have Heritage Edition on there, but we do have Heritage Edition orders. So if you see what I mean, so just because yours is Heritage Edition doesn't mean you'll probably be the first Heritage Edition that gets scheduled at that dealership, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen this month. So I don't know. In every region, every dealer is a little different, but at that dealership, as long as you don't have anything extra on your order, then you probably will be the first Heritage Edition scheduled at that dealership. But it doesn't mean it'll be the first order scheduled at the dealership the next time they have allocations.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually not how it works. So, like I said, the first way that they pick orders is the dealer has allocations first, and number 2 is based your configuration is the second one, and then they look at dates. So if they're going to be looking and say, hey, we're ready to schedule some Heritage Editions, then they'll look based on the date. Yours is the first one, then it would be scheduled. But if this month or this week they're like, we're not ready to schedule any Heritage Editions right now, we don't have the capacity for them, they're going to be looking for other things.
Do you think there will be price protection for 23 to 24 rollovers?
Ford said they will not. So they're
Okay.
basically saying if you don't get produced in 23, your dealership will put in an order for 24 based on 24's prices.
Right.
They said, and they warned dealers, they warned customers that had unscheduled 20 or 23 orders earlier before they opened the order banks, and they warned them and said, if you don't make changes, we're just telling you we're not going to price protect after this. So a lot of you that had carryover orders from 22 to 23 where you're going to get like $2,500 private offer, you will lose that in 24. We will not give you that offer after this. So they're putting it on the dealers to not take orders outside of what they can handle. So that's how that's gonna
Woohoo!
work.
Adrian Fontaine says 825 days plus the removal of my Sasquatch package and my 2-door Black Diamond. It's finally on the train.
There you go.
There you go.
Great news.
825 days.
And he had to remove the Sasquatch to
Yes.
get it scheduled. So there
Yeah.
you go. All right.
For customer service says my Maverick scheduled to be built this week has been sent to Trimline. What does that mean?
I think trimline means that they're assembling it.
Yeah.
So it's in the line where they add all the trim pieces to the vehicle. I believe that's what that means. We were in one of the factories for the Explorer, and we saw them assemble those, and I think that means that the trim, your trim line, basically XLT, whatever. So whatever trim you ordered, it's probably in that line to put your parts on or something, I assume. So basically it's getting assembled at this point.
All right. Maverick. Got a hybrid Maverick scheduled before plug-in hybrid Escape. Maverick ordered September 22 and now have VIN. Escape ordered June 22 and no VIN. Supply chain issues?
Okay,
marks?
so Escape orders were not carried over. Your dealer had to add that. So are you sure that they carried over that they put in that order? So Escape was not one of those that the order was automatically duplicated for you as a 23. The dealership had to put in a 23 order.
Mm-hmm.
So read this again. We got a hybrid Maverick scheduled before the plug-in Escape. Well, that's other than actually plug-in actually is a bigger number than hybrid. It says Maverick ordered September of 22 and now has a VIN. Escape ordered. So June was actually, I believe the order banks won't open for Escape at that point. So June order was actually a 22 order, not a 23. So the September order was a 23 order. So you might check and see if you wanted 2 vehicles, then you might check to make sure that second one was put in for you. If you're just wanting one, it sounds like you're in good luck because you're getting one. So.
Right. Last question. If you had a choice, what trim level would you go with that isn't base XL Maverick? Harriet.
Do what now?
Like if you had the choice, what trim level would you personally go with that isn't base XL Maverick, knowing the constraints?
XLT.
Yeah,
Quit.
XLT.
If you want to get one scheduled quickly, go EcoBoost XLT and don't add anything to it.
Yeah.
I personally would add the Copilot 360.
Yes.
I like the luxury package, but only 25% of the, or 30% of the XLTs will have that on there. So if
Yeah.
you want to get one quickly, you want to skip a bunch of people, basically, XLT, maybe add Copilot 360, nothing else.
Yep. That was the end of the Q&A.
Oh, that's all of them? I thought there were
That's
more in
all
there.
of them.
All right. Well, that's good because I think it's time to get on the road. So I need to go home. I think so. She
My
needs
back's hurting.
she needs to pack. But anyway, all right. So, all right. Good. So, for the
Right.
questions. Well, thank you guys very much, and I was able to stay for the Q&A. Gonna get on the road and see if we can, how far we can get. So, all right. So other than that, look for some Bronco information. We got some of the videos. We got a video going live tomorrow. If you're interested in Maverick, first, maybe you're waiting a long time. You're like, maybe the Santa Cruz is what I could do a Santa Cruz. Of course, remember they don't have a hybrid, but I talk about that in the video tomorrow. So look for that to go live. I believe. I think I have it go live at 6 p.m. When I'd be on the on Bronco Nation, but also hopefully I get there early enough to be on the Bronco Nation live stream. So check that out if so, and see if I'm there, and hopefully I am.
All right, Specs, we'll see you next month. Headed through to see an uncle, I believe, in KC. Stop on through.
Cool.
Someone mentioned cozies because he said he didn't get his koozies, so he's gonna stop and get his koozies from us. And someone said, "Tell Sarah not to give you a koozie, but a cozy. You'll know what I mean."
Yeah, we eat those outside.
Outside, do not put them in your vehicle, and do not walk into the store.
No, don't. If you go to Cozy Inn in Salina, Kansas, you don't walk into this to them.
Have an outside window.
They have an outside window. You order there, and then you eat it outside. There's a reason why they have outside seating in that place.
Yes.
You do not do not put it in your car and travel. Eat there. Otherwise, your car will stink for a month.
You will stink. The car will stink. It will be interesting. I think I went inside to go get some one day. That sweater still smells like it, and I've washed it 3 times.
Yes. So Cozy Inn is like a White Castle.
Yeah.
So those little slider burgers that you get at some of those places, it's like that. They do not clean their grill.
No, they do not.
They say that's where they get their flavor from. They're supposed to be excellent. I don't like those types.
They clean it to health standards, but in fact, it's the original grill that they had when they opened. They got a new grill, and people said that it did not taste the same. They want the old taste back, so they went and got the old grill back, brought it in, cleaned it back up, and that's what they use to this day.
Yeah, Cozy's not the ice cream.
No. So they do clean it to health standards, but they aren't scrubbing
They make sure that
they aren't reseasoning it.
Yes.
Because it is a Blackstone top. They aren't reseasoning it. They aren't scraping off that seasoning. They are cleaning it, but they're not scraping off the flavor.
Now we do have a Bogey's that is at an ice cream place.
So yes,
that is a one of a kind that I don't.
If you are looking for a cozy similar burger, Bogey's is the place to go. They both make them the same way, except Bogey's isn't using an old grill from when they first opened. Both are great.
So
the thing about Midwestern burgers is that we cook our meat on the onion. So you chop up the onion and then throw the onions on so they get a little bit warm, and throw the meat on top of that, and that's how you cook it.
I don't like onions. So
He
anyway.
doesn't.
All right, Mark, thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoy it. And he's going to watch it from the beginning, so that's good.
So Specs, if you are going to try cozies while you're here and you want us to eat with you, we will meet you there.
Yeah, we'll meet you there.
They had cozies here last week, and they're like, "Don't bring it in."
Yeah, they usually that's actually the funny thing they do is when they get somebody new to town.
Yes,
that
I think it was Zach
that hasn't lived here. They say, "Hey, we're gonna have cozies for lunch. Can you go get them and pick them up?" And so then they go in their own personal vehicle, and then they bring it here, and then their car smells for a month. That's kind of like the well, welcome to the group kind of thing. It's either that or, hey, all the new guy always buys pizza for everybody. The first, get him to buy pizza.
So
anyway,
I think it was Zach or Dylan, one of those two, their assistants. So they're like, "Hey, can you go get this for us?" And they went and got it in their own personal vehicle.
All right. Well, if that's not it, we're gonna head out and be done here. Thank you very much, and I'll be looking for some videos from us. So
all right.
I think we're good.
Yep.
All right. Nothing else. Thank you guys. Don't forget to stay positive. Be kind to one another.
And be kind to yourselves.
We'll see you later.